Alright farmers, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be having a look at which is the best breed of cows. Now if you go into the animal menu, we'll go over to this barn here. Obviously we've got 4 different breeds of cows. We've got the brown Swiss, the Holstein, the Angus and then the Limousine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 10 of each in each of the 4 barns that we've got here. And we're going to see which one comes out best, which one produces the most milk. And then in the case of the meat cows, we'll see which ones produce the best price at the end of it. So we're going to this one. I'll put in 10 of those. 10 limousines in that one. We'll run all the way through here. I'll put 10 Angus in that one. So we'll go for the 18-month-old ones. So the ones that produce milk will produce straight away. And then we'll go over here. We'll put some Holsteins in this one. Like so. And then to finish up, we'll put some brown Swiss in this last one. There we are. So we got all our cows in. So we go into the animal pen menu. So we've got 10 Holstein, 10 Angus, 10 brown Swiss, and then 10 Limousine. So I've already put the straw in each of the barn. So I'll go and fill up with TMR with the trusty multi-fruit silo there. We'll get these all filled up. We'll fast forward a month and then we'll see what we get after 1 month. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, so we're 3 months in. Let's have a look at what we've got so far. So if we go into the animal menu, so we've got their limousines. So they've used, how much of that food they used? So Limousine, I've used 13,500 of the TMR. You then got the brown Swiss. They've used 10,500 of the TMR, but they've produced 2,773 litres of milk. Obviously the Limousines haven't because they're a meat breed. Then Angus is another meat breed, so that's not produced any milk, but they've used 13,500 of the TMR as well. And then the Holsteins, they've used 10,500 and have produced 2,773 of milk. So basically what we've got there is the 2 dairy breeds have used the same amount of food, so the Holstein and the brown Swiss, and they produce the same amount of milk. And then the Angus and the Limousine have used the same amount of food but produce no milk because they're both meat breeds. So if we then go into the animal dialogue section, so we've got the Limousines, they're coming out 2,653 each. So that's an increase over what we've bought it. Then if we go through to the next one, we've got the Angus there, 2,653, so that's the same. So you're coming out with the same price on both meat breeds. So you can only assume that the dairy ones are going to be the same, but we'll check anyway. So the Holsteins 1,331, obviously they're going to be slightly cheaper on the meat side, but then again you're getting milk from it. So then this should mean that the last one is the same because this is the dairy one. This is the brown Swiss. Yeah, so the 2 milk producing cows are the same price for the weight and then produce the same amount of milk, and then the 2 meat breeds obviously produce no milk, but then they're the same price as if you sell them. That's at the 3-month mark. So what I'll do, I'll fast forward to the 6th month and then we'll see what the results are then. So I'll see you back here in a bit. Right, so we're back over here again at the 6th month mark. So if we go into this menu, so on the milk side, we've got the Holsteins. They've now produced 6,148 of milk, and they've used 21,000 litres of TMR. That's in 6 months. And then the brown Swiss is the same. Then if we go to the meat section, so they've used 27,000 litres of the TMR. So that's the Angus and the Limousine. And if we go into these menus, because they're both the same on the dairy and the meat breeds, So the limousine, meat breed and the Angus, they're both going to be 3 grand per cow. And then if we go over to the dairy side, we'll see how much they are coming out at if we sold them. So they're 1,500 each. The Brown Swiss and Holstein are the same on both. So 1,500 to buy and then 6,148 on the milk. And then the Angus and the limousine, they're both coming out at 3 grand a pop. So that's your 6 month mark. So I'll fast forward again to the 9 month and we'll see what we get with that. Right, so 9 months has passed. What have we got now? So if we go into the animal menu, we've got the Holsteins there. They produce 9,523 litres of milk, which is the same as the Brown Swiss. Obviously the Angus and the limousines haven't. Now I did refill the feed troughs because obviously you don't want them to starve. That would just be a bit wrong. So in total, the limousine and the Angus have used 40,500 litres so far. That's in 9 months. And then the Brown Swiss and the Holsteins have used 31,500 litres of TMR. So obviously, you know, use TMR. That's the best mixed food, whatever you want to call it, for your cows. Obviously, you can use grass and hay, but to get the best out of them, you want to use TMR. So that's what we've used anyway. Now, if we go to the prices menu, obviously the meat, both breeds are the same, and the dairy, both breeds are the same. So for the meat breeds, we're now up to 3,125 per cow. So in 3 months, that's only gone up 125. So I'm just wondering if the 6 month mark is really the best time to get rid of your meat breeds. Okay. And then we'll go over to the dairy ones, because they're both the same. And we've got a price there of 1,500. So that's the same as the 6 months. So it hasn't gone up in any price for the dairy cows. But obviously you're not having them for the meat, you're having them for the milk. So what I'll do now, because we're still quite close to getting newborns, I mean it's 90% on all 4. So we'll fast forward to the 12 month mark and we'll see what we've got there. So I'll see you back here at the 12 month mark. Right, so we're at 12 months, so a year's passed. So if we go into the animal menu, you can see there that the Holstein, the Angus, the Brown Swiss and the limousine, they've all given birth. So we've now got 10 newborns in each of the pens. But, and it is a big but, the Holsteins produce 12,898 litres of milk, the same as the Brown Swiss, and the Angus produce 0. The prices, you got the Holstein there, 1,500 each, and then the meat breeds are 3,250 each. So they've only gone up 250 in the last 6 months. So this is a bit of a tricky one really, because obviously there is no difference between either of the dairy breeds or either of the meat breeds. They both come out the same. They both produce, well, they all reproduce at the same rate, and then they both put on weight, obviously varying depending on which breed you're going for. The milk produced is the same from the 2 dairy breeds, and the weight goes on the same for the 2 meat breeds. Now this is the tricky one where it comes in, because you're only having the dairy ones for the milk. You could potentially sell off the newborn straight away, but with the meat breeds, you're really going to want to raise them and keep the newborns, because you're going to need them for the next cycle. So that's the thing you need to work out, which is the best time to sell it, because obviously for the meat breeds, for time over money, the best time to sell it is for 6 months, but you need to wait for 10 months for the newborns to get born. Anyway, let's put it all in a chart and we'll see what we've got at the end. Right, so 12 months in, final prices section. If we had have raised the meat breeds up to the 12 months so we can get the newborns on the go, we'd have then sold them 3,250 each. We'd have sold the original 10, we'd have made 32.5 grand. Now, if we'd have gone down the dairy route, ignoring the fact that we still got the newborns, we'd have made just off the milk 63,535. That is based off of a high price throughout the year of milk of 2,463 per 1,000 litres. So there you have it. The dairy is the better money maker than the meat breed. Obviously the two dairy breeds are both the same, two meat breeds are both the same. So it is your choice between meat and dairy, then obviously whichever breed out of the two you fancy. So drop it in the comments below. Are you thinking of doing cows? Are you want to do them as meat? Are you doing them as dairy? We'll see which one comes out on top. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, it's muchly appreciated. But that's it for me today, and I'll see you in the next one.